If you're a heat and air conditioning technician or even a salesperson, how do you induce greed in the buying process, and why does this matter? This is a super important question. I'm Scott Bell, coming to you live for HVAC Technician Sales Secrets on a perfect day to talk about sales and a perfect day to talk about you, your closer. So here's the thing. It is entirely possible for you as a salesperson, for you as an entrepreneur, for you in any type of deal to induce buyer's greed. Now, I'm going to give you my numbers. I'm going to give you my studies from 20 years of taking really good notes. My numbers may vary a little bit from yours, but you could use them pretty close to a hard and fast rule. I've brought my mobile whiteboard here with me, right? I've got my mobile whiteboard. And so let's say that you sell a $10,000 product. Your danger line is 20%. 20%. 20% is like about where people start doing bonuses for going out of business. 20 to 25% is like a typical going out of business sell. So psychologically, people are primed for this. They hear going out of business and they're thinking 20 to 25%. So whatever your product is, maximum, even in the face of most adversity, the most that you're going to want to do is a 20% discount. That way you don't liquidate the value that your product, your service, your widget, or your gizmo has. Okay, so let's look at the notes. 25% of a $10,000 product, widget, or gizmo is $7,500. So there is a huge difference psychologically when I say $7,500 versus $8,000. Okay, so you're like, hey Scott, okay, so I know if I got a $10,000 product and I can scale these numbers, I could just use a calculator. What can I do in lieu of just giving a huge percentage off? So this is why you should join my email list right here. Join my email list. I'll give you the goods, not in the Facebook group, not in the YouTube channel. So we get, as human beings, dopamine rush from putting in the work. Okay, so I've devised some numbers. Those are big words. Devised. I've got a $10,000 product, right? For random numbers, let's say I could do a 7% discount. So 7% discount, $700. I'm at $9,300. I got $9,300 to work with. Buyer comes back to me and they're like, Scott, I really like $9,300, but I like cheaper. Okay, and I go, okay, here's what we're gonna do. I got you. Let me do some calculations. Let me get out my space calculator. Let's go to the moon. Let's figure out what we can do. Let's figure out what we can't be fast, can't be quick. So now I'm going to multiply times like 0.4. So 9,300 times 0.4 is 327. So it's going to give me 89.73. And the buyer comes back and says, hey, Scott, I really want to build a deal. I really want more off. I'm like, yeah, of course, we all do. But at some point, I've got nothing left to give. And if that's what you want, I've got 0.21% left, or $188. That's all I got. I've got nothing left at this point. I've given you everything I've got. I've got nothing left to give. That's it. Complete. Finito. As my Hawaiian friends say, all pow, which is short for pau hana, right? Meaning that when you worked for the king back in the day in Hawaii, if you worked 6 hours and got everything done, you got paid for all 8. So they'd say, all pow, okay? So you got to let them know, Hawaiian style, that you're all pow. So I did a $700 discount, a $327 discount, and $188. Use your numbers, right? My numbers don't have to be your numbers. So I'm at $8,785. Now look, right here. I'm at like a 15% discount. I'm like at a 12.5% discount, actually. I'm well above a 20% discount, okay? So sometimes you got to leave some meat on the bone, because there are people that once they do win, winning once isn't enough, winning twice isn't enough, winning 3 times isn't enough. They like to do things to punish you, and it's human nature. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying some people are easy buyers. We don't celebrate those like we should, where people just come in and say, I buy. I was on a call with a potential coaching client, and I rolled my numbers for what it was going to be, and they go, yep, let's do it, right? I should have danced around my office and been like, they said yes, and called up all my friends and go, they say yes. But typically what happens is we only call friends and family in our network when we dealt with a difficult buyer, instead of saying I did my job and I closed the deal, right? So as therapy for you, when you deal with this buyer, I'm gonna give you my tip here. Here's what you do. Anytime you deal with a difficult buyer, and I know I've said this before in a video, you write down all the things that really frustrated you, and then you take the piece of paper and then you crumple it up, and then you either yell at it or whisper at it. I like to yell. I like to scream and yell at the paper and be like, ah, right? And then I throw it away and I move on with my life. And I realize that person's 1 out of 100. Okay. So if you're like, hey, Scott, how do I deal with price matching, discounting? It's a declining scale. People signal all the time, I'll give you 10% off, and then I'll give you 10% off. And so what's the next number? 10% off. It doesn't work that way, right? So if somebody says, hey, I want to make a deal, like there's things that you can always do. You can move them down a product line. You could say, hey, look, I don't have anything in this product. Why don't we look at something that's going to cost you less and more affordable for you? Well, I don't want the $8,000 product. I want the $10,000 product for $8,000. Sometimes by saying that, they're going to tell you what they really want. And my typical answer always was, I wish I could, you know, or if I could do that, then what? Like lock that thing down, right? It's going to be under your purview, right? Your job is to put a dot on the horizon and work towards that horizon and close that deal. And there you go. Dealing with people who want discounts can be tricky. You gotta work your math. Now, I want to show you something. Today I'm at the river, right? So this is like when I come out here, that's my view. That's what I'm looking at. I'm near a slough. Let's see. You probably saw that pretty good. I'm near a slough, right? I'm like, it's really hot today, which is my favorite. So realize that a declining scale really does help you. You got one of two things to do from here. Just one of two. Find the subscribe button. Click on every time I send out a video. You'll get an update. Or hit follow. Just want to let you know that I appreciate you. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.